Hello everyone. Welcome to Soul Journey. This is your sacred space to rediscover who you truly are, not just a body or a mind, but an eternal divine soul on a timeless journey through many worlds. Here we empower ourselves with the highest spiritual knowledge, Behad Gyan, for our inner transformation and ascension. If you are on the path of awakening and you believe there is more to life than what we actually see, please do like, subscribe, and stay connected with us on this divine soul journey. Let's evolve together. So today we are starting with chapter 13 from Life in Multiverse. And just a little recap of chapter 12, where we were discussing about 17 great universes, and each universe or Param Mahashiva is an enormous creation, vast beyond imagination, designed for specific types of souls and consciousness. And in that, we discussed that Bapuji has explained the nature, power, and divine order behind these universes, reminding us that this physical reality is only a fraction, much less than the fraction of the infinite multiverses. So each of these higher universes is governed by subtle supreme laws, far beyond time, space, and matter as we know them. And we also learned how souls of different celestial degrees, kala, and powers belong to different universes, and how supreme authority resides at the center of all existence. So, what causes a black hole to form according to modern science? Bapuji has explained through his divine insights multiple things, but modern science explains the formation of black hole through the life cycle of massive stars. Stars shine because of the nuclear fusion in their cores. Hydrogen atoms fuse into helium, releasing enormous energy, and this radiation pushes forward while gravity pulls inward. This balance allows the star to remain stable. Over time, hydrogen is depleted. Helium and heavier elements undergo fusion. But eventually, the star runs out of nuclear fuel. Without outward pressure, gravity dominates and the core collapses inward. This collapse leads to an explosion, creating a supernova or a hypernova, ejecting outer layers into space while the dense inner core collapses into singularity. A singularity is a point of infinite density, where space and time cease to behave as we know. The result is a black hole, a region in space with gravity so strong that even light cannot escape. Yet, science still cannot explain what exists inside a singularity. It is a field where known physical laws fail and hence remain one of the greatest mysteries in astrophysics. So, what causes a black hole to form according to modern science? Bapuji has explained through his divine insights multiple things, but modern science explains the formation of black hole through the life cycle of massive stars. Stars shine because of the nuclear fusion in their cores. So, what is a black hole according to Behad Gyan or Bapuji's insights? His divinity. So, black hole is not merely a collapsed star, but it is a consciousness. It's a conscious, sentient force The decayed form of supreme creator soul like Shiva or Mahashiv or Param Mahashiv, this soul initially full of Param light or Param Prakash, the supreme divine light, creates a solar system or a galaxy or any other celestial body through its intention, mere thought, or sankalp shakti, that is the energy of that intention, the power of thought. But creation is karma. The moment you have created something, an action has been performed, and there is a reaction to it. So what happens when this karma is created? It produces the spiritual power. Over billions and trillions of years, the creator soul absorbs negativity from its creation. Because creator and creation are eternally connected. As the creation becomes more negative, it feeds this it feeds this back to its creator, causing this decline of its celestial power. In fact, Bapuji has said in his videos, some of his other videos, that this negativity that gets created by the power of intentions and thoughts as and when it keeps building up, creating karma, this, when it is released by the creator, it creates a dense negative dimension itself. It will create beings of negative origin. So this is another very interesting thing which I learned. I never knew about all this before, but this listening to Babuji's videos have really, clarified a lot of information, and everything seems to fall into place. So eventually, when 90% of the supreme light is depleted, the creator can no longer sustain its creation. He enters his own sun or the galactic center and generates Kalagni, the fire of time, the celestial fire of time, and absorbs all matter, time, space, and souls into himself. This is when Shiv or Mahashiv becomes a black hole. So, in Behad Gyan, as what Bapuji has explained through his divine insights and presence, a black hole is a phase of transformation, a powerful act of dissolution performed by a divine soul whose light is temporarily diminished. So, who is Shiv and Mahashiv in the context of creation and dissolution? In Behad Gyan, Shiv is not the deity of a story or some mythological facts, but the creator of one solar system, possessing 1 to 4 degrees of supreme celestial power, or Kala as it's known as. Mahashiv is a higher level supreme being, the creator of an entire galaxy, with 8 to 12 celestial degree of power, or Kala, 8 to 12 Kala power. These creator souls are beings of supreme light and not bound by physical elements. So Shiv creates his own solar system through the power of his intentions. That is called a sankalp, a powerful thought, vibration. This carries a lot of energy. So that is why it is called sankalp shakti as well. The energy of this thought condenses into subtle elements and eventually physical matter, forming stars, planets, and souls. But karma is involved again, because the moment you have created something, you have created karma. Karma is action. So you've created something, you have done an action. So the power of Shiv also gradually declines. And karma is involved in the act of thinking and creating. It's important to understand, when you're thinking and creating, you're utilizing your energy, you're utilizing your power, and that is the cause of decline. We have also seen in our daily lives that when we are thinking too much, we do feel fatigued. When Shiva's power is reduced to 10%, he can no longer maintain his creation. He becomes a black hole and absorbs his creation. Similarly, when Mahashiv's time ends, he dissolves entire galaxies into himself, becoming a supermassive black hole. Creation and destruction are the cyclic acts carried out by sentient luminous beings. In this view, a black hole is simply a Shiva or a Mahashiv in transition from creation to dissolution. So what happens during the dissolution of a solar system or the Brahman? When time of a solar system or the Brahman is complete, that is measured as 100 years of Brahma, or about 311 trillion years of Earth years, Shiva, its creator, initiates a dissolution. This occurs when his remaining power reaches a critical 10% level. At this point, Shiva enters the sun, the center of its creation, and activates the great celestial fire, the Kalagni, the supreme fire of time. This fire begins to absorb everything: planets, souls, time, and space. It is not just a physical fire, but a supreme element with gravitational power thousands of times stronger than the physical gravity. The process of dissolution transforms the five gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether back into supreme elements, which are supreme fire, supreme air, supreme ether, and eventually into Param Prakash or supreme light. So thus, dissolution is not a destruction in the common sense. It is a cosmic return to its origin, a sacred recycling of creation back into supreme light of the creator soul. Everything created is reabsorbed into Shiv, and the record of creation is stored in the Param Mahatattva, the supreme great element, awaiting future rebirth. So what is the fate of the souls created by Shiva when he becomes a black hole? The souls created by Shiva carry the power less than his own, typically under 1 degree of celestial power or kala. And these will include Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, and countless other souls inhabiting planets and subtle dimensions. When Shiva becomes a black hole, all these souls are reabsorbed into him. However, not all souls in the solar system are Shiva's creation. Some are high-dimensional souls, beings from galaxies or universes beyond, could be even multiverses beyond, who entered the solar system just to visit. Whatever be the reason, they got trapped into the cycle of birth and death. Such souls will carry more power than Shiva himself, often exceeding 4 degrees of supreme light. These souls cannot be dissolved by Shiva's black hole. Instead, they escape its pull and return to their original creator. They survive the dissolution and are called upon again for future divine missions. Therefore, soul power determines one's fate at the time of dissolution. Ordinary souls will merge back into Shiva, higher souls will transcend. So, what is the process through which a black hole becomes a white hole? After Shiva absorbs his creation, the supreme fire or the Paramagni or the Kalagni begins to cool. At this stage, Shiva's black hole starts to draw supreme light from its creator, the Mahashiv. This recharging process takes over a long time, over immense time scales, can be beyond trillions of years. As he regains power, the sequence of transformation unfolds. And what happens at this time is the supreme fire becomes supreme air. The supreme air becomes supreme ether. And supreme ether will become Param Mahatattva or the supreme element. Param Mahatattva will become Param Prakash or the supreme divine light. Once Shiva is filled with enough Param Prakash, the black hole transforms into a white hole. A white hole, unlike its counterpart, does not absorb. It emits pure supreme light, giving birth to a new creation. Thus, the black hole is a womb of silence, and white hole is the cry of creation. In divine timing, Shiva again becomes the Paramatma, ready to manifest a new solar system from stored records in the Mahatattva. But one may think, what is the purpose of white hole according to Bapuji? Like we are discussing this book, Life in Multiverse. I again recommend everyone to read the book, download the book. It is available free on paramshanti.org. Please do that. It is available in many languages, including English. English can be directly downloaded, and any other language you can, send them a form or email them and request for the book in any other language. So again, coming back to the point that what is the purpose of a white hole according to Bapuji's divinity or divine vision and insights? Bapuji says a white hole is the regenerated form of the black hole. Once the Supreme Soul has regained its original celestial power, it is ready to perform creation again. The white hole is a gateway through which Supreme Light manifests creation. Shiva now uses the stored blueprint from the Mahatattva to recreate a new solar system. Similar in structure, but with new souls, time and space begin afresh. Importantly, the white hole is invisible to modern instruments. That is why the scientists cannot really take their telescopic cameras and all, they cannot take a photograph. So it is invisible to modern instruments because it is made of Param Prakash, the supreme element, which cannot be detected by tools made by physical elements. Scientists who saw unexplained gamma ray bursts such as GRB 060614 may have actually witnessed white hole activity, though they could not really recognize it. White holes thus represent restarting the cycle of a creation, proving that destruction is never really the end, but always the prelude to rebirth in the infinite universe. Now, how does time relate? When dissolution occurs of one creation, and how does it relate to the time in the higher dimensions? Time in the higher dimension is non-linear and it's relative. What may appear as trillions of years on Earth may just be a moment in the high realms. For example, 1 second of Mahashiv, who is the creator of the galaxy, is equal to 100 years of Brahma, which will, in turn equal to approximately 311 trillion years of Earth years. Therefore, dissolution of a solar system, a black hole forming and absorbing, everything can be seen as just a second's event from the galactic viewpoint. Even the collapse of a universe might just be a passing moment for Param Mahashiva, the creator of the great universe. So this, in fact, shows the hierarchical layering of creation. We have already discussed this in chapter 12, from G1 to G17, the creation of the great universes. So at each level is nested within another, each within its own time and space framework. Understanding this hierarchy is the key to decoding the cosmic timeline. Again, to understand this, I highly encourage you to read the book. There's so much. I cannot explain all the points and factors explained by Bapuji in the book. There are so many interesting numbers and details that baffle us, and when you read it, you know that it is because he has been there to explain everything in the book, and it is true. But why do scientists fail to understand this true nature of black holes and creation? Scientists today rely entirely on physical instruments, and Bapuji has clarified maybe down many, many years from now, supreme instruments will be created with the help of the subtle world. But as of now, the 5 element based understanding is there, and the physical instruments are a reflection, they are a creation of the 5 elements. So their focus is on matter, energy, and mathematical models. But creation involves supreme elements and divine consciousness, which are invisible to the physical tools. Due to this limitation, they cannot see the conscious soul beyond creation, what is seen in the physical form. They theorize that universe came into being through a big bang, a random explosion from singularity, which is not correct, but they totally ignore the fact that thought, the power of intention, the sankalp of Shiv or Mahashiv, which is the actual cause of manifestation. They are not there, but they are coming closer. But they can never really merge entirely into the thought process. Moreover, they dismiss ancient Vedic scriptures, which provide complete knowledge of the solar system's creation, dissolution, and cycles of time. In fact, they have. I have also read somewhere that there have been countries that have looked into the ancient scriptures like Vedas for their own work, but they have not acknowledged it. So this is an interesting debate one can have, that knowing and not knowing the facts, but they are not able to prove it through their scientific means. Probably that's why they don't want to talk about it. So Vedas provide complete knowledge of the solar system's creation, dissolution, and cycles of time. And Bapuji says that even with all their scientific progress, without spiritual insight, they will remain blind to the higher truth, because they need to get into the depth of everything. They have to get into soul consciousness. The Big Bang, as science calls it, may actually have been the eruption of a white hole, the beginning of a new creation cycle from supreme light, and not a random explosion at all from darkness. So we are coming close to our time, but I want to definitely talk about what Bapuji says about the origin of the universe in contrast to the Big Bang theory. Science believes that 13.8 billion years ago from singularity, an infinite dense hot point that exploded in a Big Bang, but Bapuji has clearly refuted it. He says this is a very limited materialistic viewpoint. According to Behad Gyan, what Bapuji has shared through his divine insight and vision, the universe was created by Param Mahashiva, a supreme soul of infinite light, through a powerful sankalp, through powerful intention. This thought condensed into layers of supreme elements, then subtle elements, and finally into physical galaxies, stars, and souls. When scientists observe as an expansion of creation and formation of galaxies, it's actually the manifestation of Param Prakash or the supreme light. They misread it as chaos, but in reality, creation is systematic, conscious, and divinely orchestrated. The Big Bang may just be a scientific shadow of a much higher divine event, the birth of creation from a white hole triggered by the will of a supreme soul. And we'll learn more about it in chapter 14. Thank you for being with me, and thank you for being a listener to this divine book by Babuji Dashrath Bhai Patel. I encourage you to read the book. I hope you're really inspired by now, and we'll meet again for chapter 14 soon. Thank you.